Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2017 May kits again. And I just realized that I forgot to put the sketch that I'm using in this video. But it's the sketch that's going live today in the member forum, designed by Jana, who's also a design team member. And there are two photos right in the center of the layout, and then some tags and some layering pieces behind it. It's a pretty simple yet very awesome sketch because it leaves a lot of room for interpretation. You could enlarge it, you could shrink it, you could move it around the page. I chose to, at first I thought I was going to use it pretty much as is. It does vary a little bit as I go, but you can still tell that I use the sketch as inspiration. So I thought about using one picture and then a project life card, but I wound up just using two pictures, and they're just some cute pictures I took of my daughter one day as we were loading up the car. She was just in a silly laughing mood, and I had my camera or my phone in my hand, and so, you know, when they start to laughing and smiling, it's time to take some pictures, and so they just turned out cute, and so I thought I would just scrap some everyday pictures. So I'm just playing around here. I thought I would just do a real colorful, different kinds of patterns, different kinds of layers, just something different than what I normally do. And that's the good thing about using a sketch, is that it kind of puts you out of your comfort zone, and it gives you some new inspiration that you probably wouldn't have thought of otherwise. And so I'm going to go with my usual color scheme that I tend to gravitate toward, which is pink, yellow, and aqua. And I'm using a mix of the Project Life cards and some of the Maggie Holmes and Dear Lizzie papers. And I'm just trying to get some different shades of pink and some different, you know, thicknesses of paper and different textures and things like that going behind the photos. And the pictures are going to stand out because they're black and white, and everything behind it is a bright color. And I wasn't sure if I was going to use pattern paper as my background or the white cardstock, but I wind up kind of combining both. So until I know for sure what I'm going to do, I know that I'm definitely going to put some tissue paper behind my pictures. So whenever I get stuck, I go and do something that I know for sure that I'm going to do. And so I love to use vellum or tissue paper, something that's subtle, as a little layering piece. And so I went ahead and did that, and I knew that I was going to add some foam, so I went ahead and added some adhesive foam behind the front picture because I'm going to layer it on top of the back picture and kind of tilt them a little bit so they're kind of crooked. So I did want to use pattern paper, and so I'm going to go with this Maggie Holmes. I believe that's from Chasing Dreams, and it's the white paper with the black crosses or plus signs or X's, however you turn the paper. And I'm going to kind of layer that on top of this white cardstock and just kind of do a half pattern paper, half cardstock background. But I want to go ahead and glue this little cluster down and get it situated so I can move it as one unit. Otherwise, those pieces will keep going all over the place, and I'll never get it back like I wanted. So now I can move it all around, and I'm kind of just gonna make a messy, you know, I just tore the paper. I didn't want it to be perfectly straight, so I just tore it, and I'm gonna stick it down and kind of use that as my upper half. Now my white gesso is almost empty, so I'm really having to sling it around to get some out, but I'm just gonna kind of fade out some of those plus signs so it looks like that. And now I also added some of the gesso down below on top of that cardstock, so now I can come in and do some mixed media on top of it, and the paper is protected, and it's going to give me a nice blending surface. So I'm using the Prima Watercolor Confections, the Tropical set. We got that in the color kit this month, and I'm just trying to pull some of those colors that I've got going in the papers, that golden yellow, and I'm going to pull in some of the aquas and some of the pinks, and I just kind of want this watercolor coming out from behind the pictures and the papers. I don't want to go overboard, but I just want it to look kind of, you know, artsy and messy in the background. And it's fun to play with these watercolors because if you see the color of the aqua in my paper that I've got going on over there to the right, that color is not in these watercolors. So I kind of had to blend some of the blue and the green, but then when I smush it on and dab it up, it's a perfect match. So sometimes, you know, don't be deceived by the colors of the actual tone of the watercolor, because just looking at that, you would think, well, nothing matches that color. But when you mix some blue and green together and then you dab it up with a paper towel, it lightens it up and it looks exactly like that color. And so sometimes all it takes is a little blending and mixing and matching. Now, I didn't do the packaging technique with pink. I just did some splatters there because I've got a lot of pink going on already in the papers and the project life card. Now, in the sketch, there are some tags behind the pictures. And so there were a couple of tag elements in the Chamel ephemera pack. Actually, no, those tags are from the exclusive ephemera pack, but I also pulled in some of the Chamel ones, so I kind of mixed them all together there. And I'm going to use those two up at the top. That one is an exclusive one, and I believe the one that says today is the circle-shaped one. I added some twine or some jute cord, whatever you want to call that, in the circle parts of the tags, because I feel like tags just need that to make it look like an actual tag. And off camera, I did some stitching with pink thread and some aqua thread. I just did some messy straight stitching, zigzag back and forth kind of at the top and the bottom to add some pops of pink, and then a little bit of teeny tiny zigzag on top of that yellow card, just to give it a little bit more of that aqua teal color. And then I'm going to pull in some pink thread for the two sides there. And I love how this is looking. I like all the different layers and the colors. This is a scalloped puffy sticker, and that's from the exclusive puffy sticker sheet. And I just wanted it kind of peeking out down there at the bottom. Just gives it a little bit more texture and interest. And I definitely wanted to use some of these exclusive puffy alphas. I am in love with that font. That is the probably my favorite font of all time of alphas. And I wanted to use some of these thickers. I had not used those yet, and so I wanted to use a black one to pull off some of the, or pull out some of the black from the photos and the background. And I just realized that I need to glue, I can't even speak today, glue that whole thing down, because I can't keep layering things underneath it. It's going to keep moving. So get that stuck down. And then I'm going to tuck hello kind of underneath the picture there. And I love how that looks. That's the one, just one of the great things about those stickers is they're very easily bent. So you could make the words, you know, more at an angle, or you could kind of wrap them around a circle or an arch of some sort. Very easy to manipulate those. And my title is very, very simple. It's just going to be Hello Reesie Cup, because her name's Reese and we call her Reesie Cup all the time. And when I don't really have a, you know, it's not a special occasion, it's just cute pictures, sometimes I just like to use their name. And yeah, so I had enough E's left, and so that's what I did. Now this is the Chasing Dreams Maggie Holmes chipboard sticker sheet, and I'm just playing around to see, you know, what I've got on there and what might look good. I'm going to use a couple of the hearts. I've already got the yellow one up at the top, and I really wanted to use this bird. It just looked cute, and the colors matched nicely, and so I'm going to play around with it for a little bit and try to move it around, but it's going to wind up going right where it is right now. And I just kind of tucked it in behind the H of the hello to just add a little something else up there. And I thought about adding another animal down at the bottom, but it just didn't have the right size, or I wanted another bird, but it just, I couldn't make it work. So instead I add a little, one of the little stickers. It was from a Dear Lizzie packet that we got in one of the kits, and it's got some wood buttons on it, adhesive buttons that look like brads, and that little piece is attached to it. And then I pulled in one of the yellow buttons to give that a little pop of yellow down there. And I'm going to use a couple of the puffy stickers from Dear Lizzie. This is a little hot air balloon, and I mainly used it because it matched perfectly. And then I'm going to add another little blue puffy sticker up at the top. So I've got yellow, pink, and blue in both upper and lower areas. And there's little simple clusters. And then I'm going to add a little bit of golden yellow thread right here under the bottom, just to add a pop of yellow right there. And this layout actually came together pretty fast. The sketch really helped me to, have a starting point, and once I figured out what I wanted to use, it just sort of flowed. And yeah, the last thing I did was add some black ink splatters, and then I did add a little couple of lines of journaling down there, but that's the final layout. I love how this turned out. It's pretty simple. I didn't use any die cuts or anything like that, but I love it. I think the sketch is really versatile, and you could, take it in several different directions. So make sure you check out the forum today, and there are a couple other design team members that are going to be sharing their take on the sketch as well. So I can't wait to see what they came up with. But let me know if you have any questions about any of the kits or the techniques or anything at all, and I will be happy to answer you guys. So I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hope you guys have a great week.